Good morning, everybody. In this video, I want to show you how to actually make a box and whisker plot. So what I want you guys to do first today, now that there's a sub, is to just watch me go through the entire thing first. And then after that, I'm going to ask the sub to rewind it and kind of slow it down for you a little bit so you can kind of keep up a little bit. But for now, just watch exactly what I do. I'm going to show you exactly how to make the box and whisker plot. I'm going to go kind of fast through some of these because a lot of the stuff we already know how to do, mostly from yesterday and then what we did last week. So what I've written down right now is the top home run hitters in the Major League Baseball for the past 10 years. So like Miguel Cabrera had 44 home runs this year. Somebody else the year before that had 43. He was the winner, the 54, and so on and so forth. Okay, but for box and whisker plot, just like we've done in the past, we need to take all this data here and put it in order. So I've already done that. So we've got all the way from 43 all the way up to 58. Now, just like we did yesterday, we need to fill in a bunch of data and figure out what we need to use and all that. And what I've gotten down here is the stuff we did yesterday. The median, the upper quartile, the lower quartile, the interquartile range, the outliers, all that. So if we first need to actually find the median, well, because there's 10 numbers, I'm going to count in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my median is right here at 48. So my median is 48. Okay, and I'll put the M above there. My upper quartile, I need to use my upper half, and I count in 1, 2, 3, and I count back 1, 2, 3. So my upper quartile is going to be my 54. And then my lower quartile, I count in, and that's going to be 47. Okay, if you remember interquartile range, it's 54 minus 47, so my interquartile range is 7. And then finding outliers. This is the brand new stuff we did yesterday. We take our interquartile range, which is 7, and remember we multiply that by 1.5. And when I multiply that 1.5, I get what we call the magic number. Now, not necessarily called the magic number for real, but it's called the magic number in my class, just so we have something to use. Okay? Now, finding the magic number is important because we now need to take this and find out what our limits are. Our limits have to be bigger than the upper quartile and smaller than the lower quartile. So I'm going to take the upper quartile, the 54, and I'm going to add the 10.5. Once I do get that, I get 64.5 is my upper limit. And then I take the lower quartile, 47, and I subtract the 10.5 from it, and that gives me my lower limit, which is 36.5. Okay. Now we have to decide, do we have any outliers? Are there any numbers outside of 64.5 and 36.5? And if I look back up at my data, there's not a number that's bigger than 64.5, and then 36.5, there's not a number less than 36.5. So that means we have no outliers. So this is the only data we really need, except for a little bit more I'll show you here in just a second. Let me go to the next page. And I've already found the median, which is 48, the upper quartile 54, the lower quartile 47. And we also said that there were no outliers. Okay, now the next piece, the only other information we need to know is what is the maximum number and the minimum number. And going back to my other paper, my minimum number, the smallest number, was 43. So I'll put that in. And my maximum number, my biggest number, was at 58. Okay? This is the only bit of information I need to know to make a box and whisker plot. Okay? And it is exactly the way it sounds. We draw it exactly the way it sounds. I'm going to put a number line down here. Okay, and I knew that my smallest number was right around 43, so I'm going to go to 40. And I knew my biggest number was right around 60, so I went up to 60, and I divided everything up nice and evenly. Okay, so we're going to take the median, the upper quartile, and the lower quartile, and I'm going to actually put marks right at those points. So the median is at 48, so I'm going to draw a line above the 48. I'm going to draw a line above my upper quartile, which is 54. And I'm going to draw a line at my lower quartile, which is 47. Which is right here. Okay, this makes up my box. So I'm going to connect my 3 points. Okay, so once again, this one was 54. My median was 48, and my lower quartile was 47. Okay, my minimum number, which is 43, 41, 42, 43, I'm going to draw a little line on this one, and I'm going to connect it, and that's going to be my whisker. And my maximum, the exact same thing, is going to be about right there, and I connect my whisker there. So this is 58, and this here is 43. And you'll now notice that I have 4 different sections. I have the first section, the next section, the big long section here, which isn't always the big long section, and then I have another section. So 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. Once again, there are quartiles for these. Okay? Tomorrow when we get back to class, we're going to talk about comparing these with other ones. So putting a box and whisker plot on the top, putting one on the bottom, and comparing and seeing how spread out the data is. You'll notice that 25% of my numbers are going to be here, 25% will be here, 25% will be here, 25% here. It's just spread out more here. It's really jumbled together right in there. Okay? So what I want you guys to do right now, if the sub could, stop the video, rewind it, and take it through us a little bit slower with the numbers that we had already used. I'm going to give you guys a couple of homework problems as well after you have this written down, but I want you to be able to know which one is which. If the sub just wants to rewind it to this part or just freeze it at this part right here, and you guys actually make your number line here and plot in those numbers, because I think you guys know the upper and the lower quartile, all that stuff already. We've been doing that for a week. Just make sure you know exactly where each one of these marks goes. After that, I will make sure you get your homework. Thank you.